All right. Hello and welcome back to our podcast. The name I can't say will be censored, but I'll say it later. So we are ending season 2 with special guests from Om Mama's Doulas. So we're here with Hollie and Chrissy, the incredible doulas who helped me during my pregnancy and delivery journey. So Hollie is also a licensed massage therapist as well as a personal trainer who specializes in pre- and postnatal health and recovery. And Chrissy is a placenta specialist who actually delivered her second child with the help of an Om Mama's doula. Both of these incredible women are mothers as well. So Hollie has 3 boys and Chrissy has 2 boys. Is that correct? Yeah,
yep.
A lot of boys. Today we're talking about what a doula is, how they help throughout pregnancy, birth, and postpartum, and who needs one. So let's dive in. What exactly is a doula?
They do everything. I would first say we're not medical professionals, which I would say sometimes people do get that twisted. So yeah. We don't do cervical checks. That's always a good question sometimes. But I would say, it's mostly women, but we are professionals that are certified and trained to be an emotional support, physical support, informational support. I mean, we do it all. Obviously, Bridget, it's physical, it's emotional, it's informative. I think informative is probably the biggest one because especially we're hired mostly by first-time moms. So no one really knows what to expect. And I mean, Hollie and I have been to, I don't even know how many births now. Every single one is different.
Every single thing, it's incredible. So we get to learn too each time something new. I think the education during pregnancy is a huge part of it. Like Christy said, first-time moms don't even know what to ask necessarily a lot of times. And there's a lot in the medical system and model that pregnant people do not know necessarily. It's not disclosed. Prenatal visits, they're quick, you go in, you get your weight checked, your urine checked, and then, you're out the door. So we are here to figure out, what their goals are and then help them get to that goal, whether it be hospital birth, home birth, birth center.
Yeah. Okay. So information, that's a good point. So I feel like everyone thinks that delivery is like in the movies, like your water breaks, you go in and you're like,
Yeah.
And then it's nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
But like I would say so when I was in med school, I actually did like a doula class because I was like really interested in it.
I love it.
So I was like, well, I want to know more about this. And I learned more in that class than I did in medical school about childbirth.
Oh my God.
Like literally, because they showed a video of like an unmedicated woman in a pool.
Oh my God.
And like just never see any.
Right?
No, yeah, you never see any of that. And I was like, I am learning way more in this, like, I think it was like 12 hours total on a weekend. I was like, what the fuck? Like how, you still, like, no one just like sits you down and says like, no, this is what happens and it can last for days. And it's a lot of ups and downs. And yeah, so I think that is definitely why like most first-time moms, because they're like, I don't know what to not know. Like
no. They all think their water breaks and it's time to go. Of course, with your birth was different.
It seemed like it was.
You were squatting, your water broke, and you're like, all right. And like a handful of hours later, nighttime, right? It was like,
that was crazy. And now I have a baby.
And now we have a whole baby. Not typical.
No. And yeah, that's usually not typical at all. Usually, if your water does break, which is, I would say it's like 50.
10.
Statistically, it's 10%.
We tend to have more. I don't know why, but
I don't know.
They say only about 10%.
Yeah, it's pretty low,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Of your water breaking spontaneously and starting labor.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean labor starts.
No,
personally, my labor or my water broke, and then I had a baby 36 hours later. So I didn't have contractions for probably almost 24 hours. So yeah, it looks different.
Mm-hmm. It's great when it happens the way it did with Bridget. Like, I mean, you're like, wow, yeah. But I think one of our other girls, she's like, oh my God, my plug fell out. She sends us a picture. We're like, oh yeah, that's great. Go to sleep. But then she's like, she went out to dinner and her water broke. And she's like, I'm still eating. I'm really hungry. I was craving this meal. She's finishing it. Luckily, she knew the owners of the restaurant. And she's like, they'll take care of the chair. It's filled of amniotic. Yeah. And she went home and I think it was like maybe 1 in the morning.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
Yeah. And she's like, I need to go now. And her husband's like, where are you? We need you. Like, he was a nervous wreck. And I'm like, do you want my location? I'm on my way. Like, I'm coming. But it went full force for her. And that was in like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like plug,
Again,
water,
not
dinner,
doing
baby. Yeah.
Right.
But that doesn't usually happen.
No.
It's great if it was always like that, because then we could gauge. It would be so much easier for us.
Yeah. That was her first?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah. It was, but like it doesn't usually happen like that. You know, you don't always lose your mucus plug. You don't.
Or even notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just a little booger.
Yeah.
Literally. And like Holly, you had your third in the call, which is.
My second was in call.
Was second?
He came
Okay,
out,
third.
So he came out in the sack. So my water never broke at all.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So,
That's incredible.
so cool.
All right. So tell us how you both became interested in this profession. Was there a specific aha moment?
Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I had doulas with my first pregnancy. I chose that because I knew I wanted to have a birth a certain way. And I guess I knew a little bit more maybe than some first-time moms in terms of like how hospital births go versus home births. And I really actually wanted to have a home birth, which I did not, but I had a pretty tumultuous pregnancy. So my doulas carried me physically, emotionally, and I had the birth that I wanted. And I couldn't have done it without them. There's just no way. And so I knew then and there, almost 12 years ago, that that's what I wanted to do. I just saw how important and crucial their work was and how special. It's such a special place to be. So yeah, that was that.
Yeah. And then I hired a doula for my second, mainly because my first birth was, I don't want to say traumatic, because I do say so many people are like, oh, my first birth was traumatic. If I had more information, I think it would have been better. But I had a 9.5-pound baby with shoulder dystocia vaginally. And, you know, my doctors were great in that sense. They were like, if baby's fine and you're fine, you're not going to C-section. We're going to get this baby out. I'm 5'3" and my husband's 6'4", so this is what came of this, hence why he was so big. But if I did have more information, I would say it would be less traumatic for me, because I just feel like I didn't have enough information. I didn't have enough support. My husband didn't know what to do. And of course, I'm from an Italian family, so all through the beginning stages of labor, they're coming in. They're like, where's the baby? Why did you just get a C-section? Why isn't he here yet? I'm like, it just was too much. And of course, after that delivery, it was rough and I just didn't know what to do. And I went through it. And then my second son, I hired a doula, faster birth. I knew more things to do, more things to be control of. I knew I could say no to X, Y, and Z. And that baby came out in 2 pushes and he was 7 pounds, 4 ounces. So that was my dream birth, which I'm like, I feel so bad for my first, but he's great. And it's fine. But after that, I realized I'm not having any more babies and I needed to help women. I've always worked with women. I worked at Victoria's Secret for 10 years of my life. So I've always been like a motherly figure to my younger employees. So I figured I needed to do it. And my husband's like, yeah, you could do that. And I'll continue working my job. So it was great.
Okay, with a 9.5-pound baby, what did they say leading up to your delivery?
So, and this is so typical for, I would say, everyone. Anyone goes to MFM, gets scans, baby's measuring big. Babies are usually almost always measuring big. And 2 pounds in either direction?
Yeah, it's 20%, which is huge when it's a 6 pounds and a 9-pound baby.
Yeah. So the weight that they always say is always wrong. They always kept saying like your belly's measuring big. That was it.
Which
No
really means
concern.
nothing.
Yeah. No concern. Everything was fine. He came 12 days after. And it doesn't mean in those 12 days he gained 2 pounds, because he definitely didn't. He was going to be a big boy because my husband's big. So they never made me feel alarmed or anything. But I'll say with my second, they said, oh, he's going to be just like your first. So I'm like mentally preparing for this wild birth. And that's why he came out in 2 pushes, because I was like, push hard in the beginning, go hard. And I'm like, oh, okay. He was 7'4". They said he was going to be over 9 pounds.
Wow.
So it's I wish,
Oh my
and me and
God.
Holly were like, it's 2024. You would think these scans would be so much more
No.
accurate.
I know, you would think.
Well, and
Yeah.
I had the opposite, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't get scan. I had one scan from all of my pregnancies, the anatomy scans, all I had. So they would palpate, at appointments, and they're like, oh, you probably do 8 pounds. It's 5'10".
Insane.
Wow, that's
Oh my gosh.
different.
Peanut. Such a peanut.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
It's significant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to be small. But I'm like, well, no, maybe not, because we were all big babies. I'm like,
Yeah, your whole, right? All of you guys.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think the weight's not even, I wouldn't say the weight's really an issue. I think the shoulder dystocia was the biggest thing. And I'm sure you've had to deal with them, right?
But it can happen in anyone.
Even
Right.
smaller babies.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like
it's just-
10% of women
and it's
just.
not because you're a small person and he was a big baby.
Mm.
That has nothing to do with it either.
No.
Because your pelvis is your pelvis.
Yeah, exactly. It could happen with any labor, anytime. That's why you have to be ready for the emergency.
Yeah, I think that was the more alarming situation because I didn't know what was about to be done.
Well,
And
that's
then,
the thing too, that I feel like that's when it turns into like birth happened to you.
Yeah.
Instead of like you're not really a participant at that point.
right,
You're just doing things.
you're just
Right.
there
You
and
know?
doing what you gotta do to get this baby out. And then everyone kind of manhandles you a bit. And then
when you have a doula,
there's the
then-
baby.
Yeah, but when you have a doula, someone you have time to say, okay, so this is what they just said. This is what could happen.
Exactly.
This is what you have some time.
Mm-hmm.
We can all leave. You can tell them to leave. Have a conversation and make like an informed decision, right?
Mhm.
Instead of just like they're throwing things at you and you're like,
Yeah.
what? I don't know. And now I'm scared and I've never done this before. And do whatever you need to do,
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of my first girls that delivered, actually, that was with me and Holly, she had a shoulder dystocia baby. I'm like, of course, this is going to be my healing. But I knew it was about to happen because I know the very specific tools. They get the stool, the bed goes up. I know everything that's about to happen. But like, I got her to just focus on me. And she's like, that was the best birth. And I'm like,
Oh,
that was
good.
me. I was not saying that. So
Right, the difference.
I got to,
Right.
yeah. So.
Yeah, the difference is
Yeah, because all you see is just nurses, OB or midwife just running around and things being said by eye contact, and
they are
mom is
trained-
lying there not knowing what's going on.
They are trained to treat birth as a medical
Yeah.
event,
Mhm.
right? And look for all emergencies and try to mitigate emergencies before they happen, right?
Yeah.
That's their training. So, I mean, that's like, and I think I asked you this, right? Like, OBs don't even necessarily see physiological births during school.
Very rare.
That's
Very
probably
rare.
why the donor training. You're like, wow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's just wild to think about, but you're surgeons, you're trained surgeons, so it's
Yeah.
just very different.
Very different. And especially with like, a shoulder, we're just like, oh, it's an emergency. So we're so used to just operating at that level, like boom, 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 boom.
Quick.
You're so right. Nobody pauses and is like, oh, by the way, like, this is what's
gonna
happening.
happen.
We're just like, gotta go.
Or
Totally.
maybe we could try this maneuver to,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
and some do, but
Yeah.
most aren't even trained to even think that way or even
Yep.
know what to do necessarily
Yeah.
besides we're getting this baby out.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And some people do, which you're not supposed to, like an expectant McRoberts. Like you're like, oh, it's a big baby. They'll like throw your legs up, and the woman's like, what's happening?
Yeah.
We're told not to do that, but I have seen some people do it.
I'm sure you've seen it all.
That happened once, yeah, too. And because I was preparing for another shoulder, and they did that.
Oh, nice.
And the baby didn't have a shoulder, so. But
But you're getting that woman out of the position that
Total-
she felt
Yeah.
stronger in. and
Exactly.
Throwing her legs up, and she's
Oh
like,
my gosh.
what happened? Why am I
why am I
my
being
feet
twisted?
here? All right, this is a total change of topic. Chrissy, tell us about placenta encapsulation and the benefits.
So Holly and I actually both do it. It was funny when we started with the agency, I was gonna take it over, and then I met Holly and she's like, I'm gonna do it too. I'm like, great. And we went to the owner, Chelsea's house, and we had like a placenta party.
We really do.
Yeah, there's like pictures of us like really into it, and now obviously we do it all the time. But I personally never did it for any of my babies. Holly has, so she could probably speak more to it. But sadly, there's not enough studies
there's
done.
No real studies,
Mhm.
right?
There really aren't any real ones,
Of course
right?
not.
Because
Right.
we're women and
Yeah.
it's done on
Who
women's
cares?
bodies.
And there's deeper things, so we'll probably touch on it. But I would say the biggest benefit would be hormonal. everyone says like milk supply,
because
postpartum, but
everything's anecdotal, but so many women report so many different benefits from it. And lactation is a huge one. And I don't know, like I had an oversupply, so maybe it was that. I don't know,
but I think you would say it's more
hormonal and energy levels, like massive. And I always say this, my husband was like, he knew when I didn't take it that day. He's like, you didn't take your happy pill.
Mm-hmm.
It really just leveled me, because I did. I was prone to I had postpartum depression with my first baby. So I did have a big hormonal swings, and that really, really leveled. So, and it's also, you encapsulate and you can keep the pills for like menopause. You can keep them for PMS symptoms. It's really incredible. I mean, the placenta is, an organ that we grow each time we
just for this baby.
Just for this
so
baby.
wild.
I mean, it's just the most incredible thing ever, right? And then, and we just go to the hospital and give birth, and then they just take it and throw it away, which is wild to me.
We're like weirdos, though. As soon as it comes out, we're like, can we see it?
Yeah, and I love too when we work with like
big.
midwives who are like, check it out. Like Patty did that just this weekend.
She's so cute.
Get a picture of this one. Well, look at all the membrane. Like she was very into it.
One of our girls delivered, and the cord had the knot, right?
Oh,
that's
which
rare.
yeah, it's rare.
A true knot is rare, yeah.
Yes,
a true knot.
Yeah, but everyone worries like if there's a knot or if it's around the neck, that's not. That's really not an emergency. It's not a thing.
Crazy, the nuchal cord is not an emergency.
Everyone's like, it was around the neck. I'm like, that's okay.
It's irrelevant, really.
Yeah,
it's irrelevant, I guess, unless it's very tight, right?
Maybe twice.
Which is rare.
Yeah,
they're usually.
That's why I actually.
Again, in OB speaking, because I feel like the two of us say these things, and
No, it's fine. I read this whole article, actually probably written by a doula, I don't know, back when I was in med school, and they hung it on the wall because it was like, stop panicking about nuchal cord. Stop it, read this article.
Right.
And it was obviously like the baby is not breathing air yet. There's no need to come out with, asphyxiation is not a problem yet because they're getting oxygenated blood from the placenta. So it's just...
Which is funny why too... there was, and I think still that's the stigma with water birth. Like it's like they're literally leaving water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's why there's such a calm birth because they're coming out from
Right. But like, they can't breathe.
I know.
They're basically like fish in there. Yeah.
But that's why I did a video to like kind of prove a point in that sense. I dealt with this like 3-foot cord for one. It was so weird. I'm like, this is like my height, but I made a knot. I pulled on, tugged on it. It's on my Instagram, and I just took my fingers and drew it down, and it just starts unraveling. Like it just shows you, like you cannot make a knot that hard because it's Wharton's jelly that's like coating it.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, so trust me, we try and make hearts with it, and it's just like slipping and sliding, and no matter how much you dry it, it's
Look at Chrissy.
I tried, but still, everyone's like, "Oh, it's so dangerous." I'm like, "It's not. I promise." Like, even if a baby has the cord around, and you know this, Bridget, like as soon as that baby's out, they just go and it goes right off. Like
there's time to pause, take it off, and then you just deliver through. It's fine.
Yeah,
but people do panic, and if you ever say like, so when we do C-sections, I don't know why we have to do this, but you have to announce it. So you're like cord twice.
Yes.
And the mom obviously hears this, and then she's like, oh, the cord was around their neck.
Why.
And they're like that. I had a C-section because the cord was around the neck, and I'm like, that was completely like coincidence.
Yeah,
we didn't know that. You're just speaking a fact. You're just giving, like, for the notes.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's why we do it.
Right. Like,
I've never clarified.
Same thing.
Someone's writing down.
Yeah,
someone is. Yeah, because like meconium,
Yeah.
But like everything.
Yeah.
But
so placenta encapsulation. So we take the placenta after the birth. We bring it home. We clean it. We drain all the blood, steam it, and then we dehydrate it for 18 hours. And then we grind it up, and then we put it into capsules.
And that, you said you could keep it for menopause, so you could. What's the shelf life?
So the shelf life is shorter with the capsules, but we can also make a tincture.
Okay.
And that has no shelf life, which is very cool.
All right.
You still have
I
pills.
have all my pills, and I have all my
tinctures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good.
It's wild. I do
keep
say
the pills just because.
Why not? I think it's getting more popular. We see more and more girls doing it, but
it's really great. It's cool.
Yeah.
Now tell us why you think there's not enough research on the placenta. You said you would get into that.
Go ahead.
Chrissy, yeah. So, so we've actually we have had clients that work in pharma, and we know people who, there was a guy we heard who was getting placenta injections into his back for back pain, right? And where was he getting that? I don't know, right? And then I don't know if you guys saw, and I posted this in the New York Times article with the woman who she was in a terrible fire and she burned all over. They put the placenta on her face and she had no scars on her face, right? So clearly placenta is magical, and it's DNA, and it's, you know, all these things. So then the idea, like, apparently, you know, it's worth a lot of money. There's just a lot of talk out there that, you know, if you leave your placenta in the hospital, you just never really know if it's just going to be medical waste or what. Right?
It's definitely being studied. I
Who
think.
knows?
We all think it is.
Who knows?
So we tell girls, like, if you're not going to encapsulate it, take it home.
Just take it. Throw it in the dumpster.
Dumpster, ocean. A lot of women been like planting it with a tree, but yeah, I mean, it's yours. Just take it.
Yeah.
I know it's weird to some people, but like freeze it and then take it out on garbage day.
Right.
That's, yeah. But yeah, we think there's so much more.
There's definitely stuff going on that we don't know about. So it's like, yeah, you know, info out there. My inside info.
Yeah. You know what's weird though? So like if you do IVF cycles and stuff and the embryos fail, you have to sign a waiver saying that they can do, and most people do because they're like, please research, like I want to help other people in the future. But the placenta comes out of you. They don't ask that. You don't sign a waiver.
They say that it's just medical waste, and
they make you, they make you sign a waiver if you're taking it home.
They take it to the lab a lot of times.
They always take it to the lab.
Yeah, because they didn't mention it at all about what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
No discussion at all.
No. Now they will, a lot of times, especially if there's a doula there, they ask, right, like more towards the end, are you taking your placenta?
Yeah.
But no. And you had C-sections, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they'll take them to the lab 9 times out of 10 with a C-section. So they're obviously.
I like, this could be wrong, but I feel like they're definitely getting stem cells out of it, because if they're not doing a full delayed cord clamp, I'm telling you, even with delayed clamps, we can drain so much blood.
There's still blood in there, no matter what.
We're like at the kitchen sink. We're like, Jesus Lord, this is just, it's so much.
It's white and it's not pulsing. There's still blood.
Oh, here. Have you ever seen, like, what is it called, like the lotus birth or something, where people keep it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to.
Because right, you just keep it and you let it keep. Am I wrong?
You could attach it, keep it attached for. A lot of women that want to do that, they'll keep it attached for like long. I wouldn't say very long, but
some wild things.
Yeah.
I've never.
And then like burning the cord with a candle. That's one.
Yeah. It's very like ceremonious, right?
It is. I would say.
Yeah.
It's more like, I wouldn't say a
Jersey.
ritual.
Right. Okay, not very New Jersey. Got it.
I'm feeling Oregon.
Yeah.
Totally. The Mormon wives.
Yeah. Okay.
I was going to start on that show.
Oh my God.
That'll take another shot.
Yeah.
All right. How do you think doulas improve the experience with more pregnancy and then postpartum?
Yeah.
Not so much delivery.
Right. Okay. So pregnancy, again, the education, you know, Chrissy and I, when someone decides to work with us, we start a chat immediately, and we just start, you know, depending on how far along they are, like we just start talking and giving information about, you know, oh, I'm going for my blah, blah, blah scan. And we're like, oh, how do you feel about that? Did you choose that scan? Do you know why they're doing that scan? All the things, right? Like, we have a list of questions we can give to their providers when they're at their prenatal visits. Like we go through any kind of trauma they might have had previously, because that is huge. You have to kind of work through that as much as possible in order to have a less traumatic birth second time around. And we just become like your friend, you know. We try to you know, develop a relationship so that, you know, you trust us, right? Because like someone had said recently,
oh, why would you want a stranger?
Why would you want a stranger? Like, it was like a dad asking, like, she's like, I want to doula, and he's like, why would you want a stranger? And I'm like, who are how, you don't even know this doctor.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know which doctor you're getting. You've never met these nurses. I want to be the person that you are like, this is not the stranger. This is like my girl, you know? And yeah, we try and make you feel safe and confident leading up to the big day, you know, and just answering all your questions and just being like a reassuring person, you know.
And then postpartum, like our agency has postpartum doulas. They are more for, so mom can sleep and they could come in, take care of they do overnights. I think it's like 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. And there's a lot of women that hire them. And a lot of them are ex-nurses or still nursing, like per diem. They're great. They're wonderful. But that postpartum period is also major because usually any woman that gets postpartum depression never tells anyone. And they're just like, I guess we all get this, and I just got to go through it.
They don't even realize
Right.
it, or
Yeah.
And then there's postpartum anxiety, which is.
And then there's anger.
There's like,
It's inside out, It's all the emotions.
Yeah.
But I have like a ton of OCD, as Holly knows, and I make sure we check on our girls probably for like a full year, like once a month after they deliver. I'm still just like, how you doing?
Yeah.
And then the ones we don't hear from, I'm like, okay, I'm worried. I get very attached. So that's me. It's just, we check in as much as we can. And then we have another girl that we had last year deliver, having another baby next year.
Yeah.
And we're going to be with her again.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's awesome.
Very good.
Why didn't you do the overnights? When you
I know.
I know.
You had Jerry.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, she actually does take Theo. It's good.
I'm
It's good.
sure it's great.
He's okay though at night. He's not my problem at night.
That's awesome. He always slept good, right?
He had a 10-week sleep regression. I was like, I was texting her. I was like, well, is this my life now? Like
No,
just
it
don't
feels
sleep.
like, though,
She's like, it's 1 week.
When
Calm
you're
down.
in it, you're like,
Yeah.
this is right there.
Yeah. I was like, I just don't know how I'm gonna live. And then he stopped doing it.
And your babies are older now, right?
5 and 3.
Yeah, so mine are even older, so it's like I have to like remember.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
oh, that was rough. But like when you're so far out of it, you're like,
Yeah.
what? It's fine.
Then toddler stage, that's even
Yeah.
crazier.
I know. She's like, I'll take your kid any day. Like,
I
take
bet,
mine.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You can
They're
have the
they're
3-year-old.
rambunctious. They're cute though.
My first one's really good, but the second she challenges me every day.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, first one, they trick you.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's like a really good rule follower, just
Aw.
like typical like mama's boy, and then she's like, whoa.
Oh, your second one's your girl.
Yeah.
She's wild.
She
My
scares
sister
me.
says the same thing. She's got a boy and a girl, and it's the same dynamic. The daughter is just she's like a little devil.
Mhm.
It's cute though.
It's so cute.
They're funny. Like they're
Yeah.
funny when they're
Hilarious.
naughty,
Yes.
but like you're
Yes.
like, oh my god,
This
how do you
is
think about this?
terrifying.
Yeah.
Right.
And she's got a lot of friends. So we were trick or treating with their kids, and she just started this new school that Jack already goes to with her brother. And we were trick or treating, saw how many kids came up to Evelyn, hugged her, hi. We're like, how does she have
she's
so
very
many
social.
friends?
She's
course
the
she
popular
is.
girl.
And we're like, how?
I'm scared for my life.
I'm scared of my life.
And we were like, oh, they all live in the same neighborhood. We're like, you better lock your liquor cabinet.
Oh
when
my
they turn
god!
12.
Oh yeah,
Like,
when they put the water in. So yeah.
We're like, you're gonna have a problem with this
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
But hopefully it will be a good thing. Like she could stand her own.
I hope so.
You like, I'm a fierce girl, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not gonna be fun for you.
No,
Yeah.
no, it would be very challenging.
But you were kind of a ball breaker as well. So it's
But I
okay.
was more like Jack when I was younger, though.
Yeah,
I
you
was the
were.
oldest rule follower. I didn't get like that till
So
like
then
13.
maybe it'll flip then. Maybe she'll be a good teenager.
One can pray and hope.
I don't know. She's
Thoughts and prayers.
I don't know. Well, you were kind of like her, but then as a teenager, you were easy.
that's true.
So maybe.
You never
Yeah,
know.
it
Who
can.
knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Kids.
John was saying how like he thought when we had Jack, because he was so easy, that like kids come and you like they act how you mold them. He was like, I feel like our second was like certified pre-owned car. Like she came with
Someone else.
because we didn't give her those settings, but she has them.
It's so that is amazing. That
Can we
is
do
so
a
true.
software update on?
Yeah. We're like, let's reboot this model.
So true. He is so right about that.
Yeah, no.
Oh, so you can't make them good. They just have their
No,
own
well,
personalities.
I mean, you said that she's like this awful thing, but like, yeah, no, she's just
She's her own person.
she's
Yeah,
she's
she is.
assertive.
That's good. Though.
She
For a
also has like a
girl.
massive crush on
Oh
the
yeah,
kid.
she's always trying to steal.
Oh my God, yeah,
It's
you said that
so
before.
Funny. Did you tell them the lipstick
How cute
story?
is that?
No, okay, so she has this new thing now where she wants like a spa day. She's a foot bath in my mom's bathroom, whatever.
Oh
It's
my
weird.
God,
So she made me scrub her feet. and then
Aunt Bridget, scrub my
Yeah,
feet
she's
right
like-
now.
She's taking your place.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I scrubbed her feet, and then she put lipstick on, full.
Completely out of the line.
And then came out here, and Ted was not here. He was like, we ran to the liquor store to we had like plans that night.
Which she was like,
where's Ted? Yeah. And we're like, he's not here. And she's like, take this lipstick off.
Snuffing it off. Oh my God.
I was like, okay.
Wow. Good.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's hilarious. What does Ted say?
Ted thinks it's hilarious.
He leans into it. It's
Of
adorable.
course, he entertains her.
Yeah.
So
So cute.
she's gonna be mortified when she hears these stories.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And now it's on a podcast forever.
Totally.
Yeah.
I never
Thanks,
said that
Mom.
about Uncle Ted.
Yeah.
It's actually
So
Uncle
cute.
Ben now. Or,
Yeah, Uncle Ben. Yes.
My son said he doesn't look like a Ted. He looks like a Ben.
Apparently, I don't know, that happened this morning, so we're changing his name.
Okay, Ben.
I don't even know what a Ben looks like.
I mean, right? Like,
All sorts of people.
Yeah, it's like, what is a Ben? But,
That's what it is.
right. So, everyone can benefit from a doula, duh. But have you personally noticed a specific group of people, maybe people, like you said, with like previous trauma or anxiety, anyone
Yeah.
specifically that you've seen that has benefited more so?
Definitely. I think, I mean, it is hard to say because everyone really does benefit from a doula.
Yeah.
But I think, obviously, like we said, first time moms who just don't necessarily have the experience or education, second time moms who first time around had, at best had, a birth that they didn't necessarily love. And at worst and common is trauma, so that is huge to have the support when you have had trauma first time around. I think VBAC is a big one.
mm-hmm.
It's huge, actually.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I mean that goes with your practice too. Like having a doula is great, but you also need to have the perfect practice because it's like ingredients, right? You need it all to work.
You have to have a team that is totally on board with the birth that you want, and that's part of what we do too. We come in and we say, "Let's talk about your practice."
Mhm.
Yeah. I think it's getting better, at least in New Jersey. Like we love that in the UK, midwives deliver, and then the OBs are there for the emergency situations, if any. Jersey's getting more midwives. I would say there's more women doing home births. It's still not huge, but more women are doing it. I would say though, benefiting, one thing to piggyback on the question is a lot of women have the perception doulas are hippy dippy, unmedicated all the time. And we deal with, how much percentage would you say is unmedicated versus epidural? Half?
Yeah, you think what?
A little more epidural.
You think more epidural?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that's another thing. We've been on like interviews and our clients are like, don't judge me if I want an epidural. We're like, we're not judging. We're here. Like we've dealt with C-sections. Hollie's been in a C-section. I've been in a C-section. That's rare that we even get to go in, but it happens. We deal with a ton of epidural women that want an epidural and know that they want one. We just try and gauge it to get done at the right time. And we're still moving you around and flipping you around.
Well, that's the thing too, because that is a big part where we are really helpful with an epidural because there is a sweet spot of when to get it versus when not to. And also we are there to move you because if you're just laying in that bed with that epidural, then the interventions start, then they're bumping the Pitocin because their labor slowed down.
It starts once you get an epidural, sadly.
Right. So we know how important it is to keep you moving and we know how to move you since you can't actually leave the bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
obviously everyone could benefit from it, but but it's even better that at least I don't know where every state, but Jersey is now covering almost all doula services under insurance.
Wow.
That's great.
if you're certified.
Which is awesome. So like, why not? I get it, but like that just came around. I would say like early this year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So if someone's considering a doula and then they say, that's a big investment, like call your insurance.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So that would just be like they do copay. That's it, kind of thing.
I don't know exactly.
Some I know they talk about like submitting super bills and stuff like that. So sometimes you got to put the money out and you'll get reimbursed and they'll give you a cap. And there's some insurance companies that are covering like 10 grand. Also, I'm like, what doula is 10 grand?
Yeah, that's a good,
that's awesome. Hollie and I are not 10 grand, but yeah, like.
But if your insurance is going to pay.
Yeah.
You are
Let me know what else you want me to do. I think also some insurance companies now are covering like birth centers, which wasn't a thing.
It's still a challenge.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah. We're turning the corner with that.
Definitely. I'm in my practice. Something I've noticed that would really benefit is like women who have sexual assault trauma.
That's a big one.
Because you really need to be like patient and spend time with them. And unfortunately, like I've got like all the women on the ward. So like I spend as much time as I can.
Yeah.
Being like, I'm just going to do this one, like your GBS swab, literally just something as simple as that they cannot tolerate. And I'm like, I spend all the time I can. And I'm like, okay, you get used to it. I'll come back to you. But at some point, like I have to leave her bedside. And if she had someone with her more like one-on-one who could just like explain it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because just what you said, that does not normally happen. How you would
100%
walk through a patient, what you're about to do, and give them time. That doesn't normally happen. We've heard. I mean, so many moms are getting their GBS and they don't even know what it is.
Oh. Yeah, they're like, oh, that went in my butthole too. When I first got it, I was like, did she go in the wrong? I got in the car because my husband couldn't come into these meetings because it was during COVID, I think. And he's like, what's wrong? And I'm just like staring. I'm like, I think she messed up what she did.
So now, right.
I'm like, she put it in my vagina. And then I'm like, I'm confused.
So now, God forbid there was trauma there. Like that would be mortifying.
Yeah.
Right? So
I was just like, I'm really lost here. Even like a cervical check, right? So like, they're not pleasant. They're not great. It also not needed. Depends on the provider, but like if you don't prepare a woman, especially who's been through sexual trauma, they're never going to forget that. And then they probably may not want to have a baby again because like it needs to be, I mean, it also, if we don't know, but
we've had clients who the cervical checks were more
trying
than anything else.
I hear people say that all the time.
Because it's aggressive. It's aggressive.
It can be aggressive, but also if they've had anything, any kind of issues, previous issues, then it can be really, and then it can change the trajectory of the entire birth.
Yeah.
So
they're aggressive, but they're also at the worst time. Like in early labor, maybe whatever. But they're like, oh, we think like you're advancing, and you're like, I think I am too. Like I'm writhing in pain. Like, and they're like, just relax. We're like, okay.
Oh
it's like the worst time to like stick
anything in there, right? It's like you just cut open your leg. Let me just go in there and check.
Let me fish around.
Yeah.
Totally.
I only ever got checked when that's all I know.
Right. Yeah.
But it's not great.
No, it's not.
It can be helpful at some point.
Yeah, but now that I know, because I'm like, I do them all the time, and I would always be like, calm down. I'm like, take a deep breath, and then when you let the breath out, I'll go like in and out, and I'd be like, surely it can't be that horrible. And now,
and now you're like,
fucking
Right,
uncomfortable.
and you're thinking that too because obviously you got checked, you get pap smears before you have a baby, and it's like it's not fun, but it's not. There's no pain there. Right?
Yeah,
So,
I'll take a pap smear any day.
Oh,
That's
cervical
what
check.
I'm saying. Like, that's what you're comparing it to.
Yeah.
Like, what's your problem?
Totally.
Yeah. No, but I would be like, because some women are, oh my God, they don't even, they're just like, whatever. I'm like,
I know.
Okay. And then some are really like vocal about, yes, you're like, I just don't know what to gauge here. Like,
right?
But yeah, no, it's uncomfortable.
She's not fun.
Now I know. Marissa, do you have anything you would like to say about like postpartum anxiety or postpartum depression? Do you have any clients with these specific needs?
I do. It is definitely more common than you think, but there's also the difference between baby blues and postpartum. Obviously, in the beginning, feel quite the same. It's just, does it continue past the 2 weeks? And people don't realize. So, for instance, it could be something like rage, postpartum rage. So they just think I'm stressed out because I've never had a kid and I'm not sleeping. So that's what's going on. But it's obviously more than that. There's anxiety. Like some people think it's just helicopter parenting, but it could be just scenarios running through your brain and you're just trying to stay on top of your kid at the playground because it's the postpartum anxiety, stuff like that. But it's always helpful to see, I would say, a therapist. Just like you guys are saying, doulas are important. I would say even after that, when you're feeling good, maybe check out a therapist you
Yeah.
feel comfortable with.
We actually recommend seeing, even if they're having any kind of feelings during the
Anything.
pregnancy, we say, why don't you start talking to someone now? You know,
Me and Holly
I mean,
go
I
to
think
therapy
I-
the same day.
Yeah.
We're that crazy.
we're the therapy doulas. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never got hurt. Well, I shouldn't say never, but
The owner, she's like, wow, you and Holly go to therapy on the same day, like at the same time. We're like,
So
that was
funny.
not planned, but
really wasn't.
yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
Especially you got to find a therapist that you like
with,
and
yeah.
totally. And there's so many now.
And really special, I think, has done special training in specifically, pre or
Yeah.
postpartum.
Or even just
So it's
trauma.
very specific,
Yeah.
you know?
And like those are so like some of our directories are like Psychology Today. Like you can search certain topics, whether it's like anxiety or
Yes.
postpartum. So
It's
it'll
been getting
narrow it
better for sure.
down.
Yeah, which is great,
Mhm.
right?
But yeah, it is very common, I would say. I mean,
I
I know
think
I
so,
told
too.
you the baby blues with Evelyn. I didn't have it with Jack, but baby blues with
Mhm.
Evelyn. So
And every pregnancy is different, which,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
you could be fine afterwards, one pregnancy, and the next,
I think, yeah, my 2nd I felt way worse. I think you agreed, right?
that was the second.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, this should be way better.
And then also, like you said, it lasts. I mean, and you literally mentioned on the playground,
Mhm.
meaning like it could be
Mhm.
that long.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like,
Yeah, unchecked.
oh, I am still a mess. I am not right.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't just like nervous mom energy.
Right,
you know?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely it's like when it's kind of like cross that bounds from
Yes.
like, I used to be like this, but like no, I'm far this way now.
Mm-hmm.
So
I do imagine so many scenarios all the
you,
time.
you will.
yeah.
I mean,
There's
yeah.
right. There's being
Yeah.
a mom.
yeah.
and
It's
then-
just like you get real creative.
Yeah.
You're like,
Mhm.
but what if this
Yeah,
happens?
it's-
Like,
I always think like, biologically yes, because you now have to protect this whole human.
Yeah.
But like, where does it like start to really disrupt your life?
It's
Yeah.
where
Is
it's
it too
affecting you.
much?
Yeah.
yeah,
Crazy.
crazy. Goddamn.
Moms go through so much.
I
I don't
know.
understand.
It is just, it's you, motherfucker.
Yes.
It's you.
We just love that.
What is that from again?
Bad Mom's Christmas.
Bad
Oh my
Mom's
God.
Christmas.
So good.
Have you ever seen the hit movie Bad Mom's Christmas?
Oh my god.
There's a great
I
scene.
love the first one where they're in the
Yes.
food store. I'm like, this is fucking great.
Yes.
Because I think I'm like, that was me one year, right after I had my first. I went to a brunch, which we all know what bottomless brunch, and they like blacked out the windows, and then
Oh
you
my
come
Lord.
and then I know, and it was daylight, like 2 p.m.
John, sorry, I took this. It was this in Red Bank, say Livy.
No, but I know exactly how that goes. This was Mosa, like it's in Matawan.
Okay.
It's Piazza di Roma. It was Mosa Social. It was bottomless this year, and they don't do that anymore. And it was Sunday, obviously, so I'm like, I got a food shop because that's my food shopping day. And my girlfriend's like, I'll go with you, and I'm like, this is terrible.
Do you have a full-on,
I had no idea what I bought. No, I didn't. I was just retarded. Like,
Wow.
What snacks?
yeah, and I bought nothing of what I needed. I come into the house and my husband's like, "Fuck happened."
You're like, we have gushers.
Yeah, we got water
Gushers.
and chips and snacks. So the kids aren't eating today. Yeah, no, I get it. But that scene, I love it so much. It's so good.
That one and the one where she's at the bar, she's like, I wish I was in a car accident, but not one where I, got
Yeah.
or it was covered by my insurance and they do my foot rubs.
Yeah. Just
So
a little
funny.
vacation for the kids.
Yeah.
We see that actually with like some moms will linger, postpartum, and you're like, oh, how many kids do you have? They're like 4. And like, oh,
my
right,
God.
Yeah.
okay. So you don't want to go home.
Yeah.
Because the midwives will, up on postnatal, like the midwives will
Right.
like feed your
They
baby
pamper
or,
you.
Yeah.
they're like, well, I'll take the baby, and they're cuddling them,
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like you do.
Yeah, I'm like, give me that
yeah,
kid.
yeah. And the mom's just like, oh, this is great.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Mhm.
That is
But
funny.
I get that now, yeah.
Yeah, I would say after Jack, I was like, couldn't let me out of here. But with Evelyn, I was like, can I stay another night?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I don't feel good.
At Hotel Community Medical Center.
Hotel community. Yeah, I'll take that dinner.
It's a nice-
Terrible.
It's a nice one. I tell people.
It is nice and quiet
I
in
loved it there.
community.
I loved it. It was so good. And the food lady was so nice. She
Oh,
would
I
call
love
me
the
in the
food
morning and be like,
ladies.
what do you
Yeah.
want, Bridget?
Knows you by name.
Sushi, please.
No, community is great. I was just there 2 weeks ago, and it was so quiet. I'm like, is anyone
Very
here?
nice.
But it was great, and I was with the midwives again. They're great. We were with Lori. Did you meet Lori?
No.
I
No.
think she's one of the new ones.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Right.
because she just got added on the website, so definitely,
Okay.
yeah. Your midwife was great.
Oh, I had my postpartum visit with her.
How'd it go?
It was great, yeah.
I love
And I was
her.
like, oh, you look so different, like out of scrubs.
And I'm not delirious.
Yeah, she's so nice. I did ask her about her many, many children.
Oh yeah.
So
Right?
some of them are stepchildren.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was like, you aren't. She's like, I'm 34. I know.
Makes
I think
sense
it is like
then.
7. No, it's 7.
Yeah.
Yes, so she has 2 children and then 5. Yeah, I was like,
Whoa!
wow.
Sorry,
Yeah, I
That's
know.
wild.
I know.
That's insane.
Yeah, she's like, people ask me this all the time.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, this cannot be the same person. Maybe they messed up the
I'm
bios.
like, she's not old.
I'm like, she looks young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So crazy there. But yeah, she has 7 children now.
Wow.
But she's so nice. And yeah, I really liked everyone I met there. Everyone was so good. I mean, even Dr. Lane's, like, I love him, or Lanus, I don't know how you say it, but I've known him forever. And I was like, even if I did need him, like, not a problem.
No, he was
I love him.
great. And like, I always had a woman's practice. And when I met him, I'm like, I would totally let him do anything. Not in that way, but I'm like, I trust him. Like, he was just, he didn't come into the room and just be a typical OB. Like, he was like a bro in a weird way.
Oh, God, he's
if
so
that
good.
makes
He is.
sense. Yeah, so he's awesome.
He
That whole
let,
practice is great.
David Palara deliver the
Yes,
help deliver the body of the 3rd child.
The body.
The body.
Well, head is important. You get the head out, and then
And then
the
they
body.
can do it.
Yeah. Then
The field director's door up here at the body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, but it feels like that.
I mean, yeah,
But how? I mean, I don't know.
that was
OBs
amazing.
that would let him
No,
do that.
not many. It's more midwives. Yeah, that they're like, yeah, you could deliver once the shoulders are out.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, and it was his boy, which is even more special because
yeah.
they have 2
2
girls.
girls. Yeah. That family has a lot of girls.
All girls. Yeah, I was with her sister at her delivery, and it was a girl.
Girl,
They
yes.
could have sworn a boy. I'm like, it's a girl.
Oh my God, that
Yeah.
baby should be a mom.
I know.
Holy.
I mean,
crap.
also like Olivia should be too.
I know,
So,
yes.
She's like in Spain, 5 months postpartum. I'm like, who looks like this?
Anytime she's on my feed, I'm like, oh, it's a influencer.
It's
Oh wait, no,
just
it's
like
Olivia
an
Maxwell.
influencer.
Yeah. I have to like.
Wow.
Oh wait, I actually know her. Like you have to like
Yeah.
double take.
That's
Oh.
She's
hilarious.
gonna be
But
listening to this,
It's-
guys.
That's fine.
Oh
That's
yeah,
fine.
so she knows.
You're all very pretty. But no, oh my God, her daughter, whew, so pretty.
No, yeah, and they have great labors, great births.
Mm.
Like they just rock it at home, and
Yeah.
then they get to the hospital and they're like 9 centimeters. I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
that's so
okay.
awesome.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, they were great.
They're good people. Shout out to the Maxwell family, Maxwell Flower family.
So funny.
I want to know some funny birth stories. Do you have any wild emotions from mom or dad? I know a lot of dads faint.
No, I was thinking about it. So I'm just going to bring up this weekend.
Sure.
Because the labor was amazing, birth was amazing, and they didn't know the gender. And baby comes out, and dad jumps up and down and screams,
Aw.
holy fuck, it's a boy. Like, so excited, but just screamed it. And I was like, that was amazing. Like, best reaction I've ever seen.
Oh, that's,
That's cute.
nice.
Yeah.
Every dad says they don't care, and then when they get a
Oh
boy,
my God. Yeah.
they're like, it's
Well,
a boy.
They're so
I,
happy.
think he was, I almost just think he was like, holy fuck, it's a baby. Like, that was it. Like, he just was like, whoa, oh my God.
Yeah.
It was great. Best reaction I've seen. I don't know how funny it is. Funny. I thought it was funny.
I mean, I've had some funny things, but I'll probably like. I mean, every woman does it, right? Like, I'm literally behind one of my girls and like squeezing her hips, and she's like, "I'm farting on you, and I'm so sorry." I'm like, "It's fine, it's fine."
Oh yeah, that's what I had a client who labored, and tried to push, but ended up C-section, and they're getting her ready, and she's just like sitting there, so she's not pushing anymore, but she's numb, and she's just sitting there, she's like,
Am I pooping?
I just pooped. And just like the wet, like they're so over everything.
Yeah.
Like, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
I mean, you don't, because you at
Or
that
they'll
point you
fart,
have.
especially with a girl, they'll fart and they're like, "Is that me?" They don't even feel it. I'm like,
Yeah, and they're like, you think they're sleeping, and we're all just patiently waiting, and we all look at them. And this happened to one of my other girls too, and she's just looking around. She's like, "What's that noise?" I'm like,
But
"Babe, I think it's you." And we're just laying on her, cracking up because it's just you have no control, and even one of my girls, she's like, I don't fart in front of my husband. I don't poop near him. And it happened. And she was devastated. I'm like, it's fine. It's so fine. I'm like, you have to do these things.
When someone doesn't poop during delivery, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Everyone poops.
Yeah, I've seen less and less.
I see so much.
Because, like, I mean,
I pooped a lot, and I'm like in the water, and I'm like, you guys are just scooping out poop out of the water. I'm like, this is the. But at the same time, I'm like, I also don't give a shit.
yeah, you have to. I mean, yeah, or you're holding back that baby.
Right, that's right. You gotta let it all go. That's when you know shit's about to go down. Right?
Yeah. No, I mean, they're all unique in their own way, for sure.
Yeah. There's always funny moments, I think, especially with longer labors. There's always just fun. You start to just talk.
You get delirious.
Like, but there's always there's fun. There's laughs, which you wouldn't think happens, but we try to make things light, humorous, as much as possible.
I had a woman that we were getting her ready. It's not really funny. It's just crazy. We were getting her ready for a section, or maybe a trial, and maybe we were doing a trial. Anyway, so she needed a spinal. So she was unmedicated. Now we gave her the spinal, and she couldn't feel anymore. But she was like, I feel like there's some pressure though. So we just let her put her leg up while we were getting her ready. She was still, and baby came right out.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Somebody catch this baby,
right?
And she was like, "Did I just deliver the baby?"
So was that the baby?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Well, didn't even get to lay her down. She just
Yeah.
leg up.
Yeah.
So everything relaxed.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they say though. If you got a woman, especially not a primip, the second you put that like epidural or whatever, like if she relaxes,
the baby's there. Yeah.
Holy crap, that baby will come out.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She did it. It was good.
No, it is wild. Yeah. One of my girls, she was, I think this was shortly after you delivered, Bridget. She, like, her water was leaking as contractions were getting intense. And I'm like, I'm on my way. And it was her third baby. So I'm like, this baby's going to come quick. She did all of them unmedicated. I got in. Anesthesiologist is walking in. I look at her. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I don't know. And I'm like, she's like, I was looking at you for like approval. I'm like, no, you've had 2 unmedicated births. And
she was so far along, right?
yeah, Patty came in and no gloves, nothing. She's like, the baby's right there. We're going to push. And baby came out. Obviously this midwife, she didn't have enough time to get the prep table, nothing. But like the baby was right there. It's when you don't realize baby's ready to come.
So maybe she just even needed the idea of getting an epidural to relax.
Maybe, but they gave her a little
relief is coming.
Yeah, they gave her a little bit of Pitocin, and once her water broke, she felt what that felt like. And she was like, oh no, I do not want this. And we're like, just push. Baby's right here. And baby was there. Done. And like, once I got to my car, she's like, can you send me all the pictures now? I'm back to earth. I'm like, okay, no problem. Yeah.
Marissa had a lot of Pitocin and a non-working epidural.
Oh,
because you were like still in pain. And I was like, how? And then they
was
moved her. They
it
moved
was
her, and the whole catheter thing fell out. And they're like,
oh,
and they don't. Yeah,
it's like never connected.
Yeah,
oh my God.
And then they're.
I cannot imagine, to be honest.
It was
that's
the worst.
I get it.
Oh.
I went to like 20, and I'm like, okay, time to die. No, they're like, just hit the button once you get the epidural. I'm like, and then girls are hitting the button. Nothing's working. I'm like, it's not connected. There's got to be a better system with that. Even the tape does not hold it down.
Oh, no,
sometimes.
the tape is flimsy.
No. Yeah.
What the hell is the deal with that?
Does not make sense.
No.
I
And they limit you to every 15 minutes. So it's hard to even tell them because I'm like, is it because I'm in the 15 minutes or it's not?
Am I in the time frame?
Yeah. Like you don't have a.
I think
Clock
that would be the worst when, like, so you're like, ooh, I'm getting the epidural. This is going to go away. And then it doesn't.
Yeah.
That I can't imagine.
No, especially with Pitocin. Whew.
That's
Yeah.
why I was like C-section. Well, he was many
The
reasons,
C-section.
but that was like one of like 5 reasons. why I
Just
had to
knock
say
me
so.
out.
I was like, I want to die.
Yeah, it's Pitocin's another world. 100%.
Oh God! Right. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Also, plug the business.
I have a new website.
Okay.
Right? It's truthfuldoulaNJ.com.
Okay.
Nice. Do you want me to check?
You can also find me on Instagram, Truthful Doula. Yeah, I'm here in Jersey.
Excellent.
Yeah. My Instagram's _doula_mama. I would have not chose that, but of course Instagram has every name. I was going to say screen name taken away.
Yeah, I
know, right? I'm like, I can't change anything now. And then I just did my website too. It's encapsulatingmagic.com. Yeah, we have like weird witchy vibes, and we like, how can we make that witchy? Should we tell the freezer thing and then probably be done with this?
Oh, when
it's a good one.
We freeze people out. Which one though?
The one I have with Nicole, maybe.
What do you want to say? I don't know.
So like, so Holly and I are always like, yeah, let's like every first of the month. I'm like, I'm staging my house, and like obviously if I lived here, I'd probably do the same thing, blowing cinnamon in the door, you know, all that. Like, but it's funny. Holly actually had the situation happen.
My first birth, so I had a really I'll just say it quickly. My husband at the time left me when I was 5 months pregnant, and and I chose to have him in. Last night I chose to have him at the birth. I was like, he has to bond with my baby. But it was terrible for me if I would have known, if I know now, you know, we don't want anyone, especially someone who's going to stress you out, right? But so my doulas were a little witchy. My one doula was there. It was like Christy and I, like one was there, one was phone support, and she calls the one at home. She's like, we got to freeze them out. and so you stick like, you either draw a picture of them, you put their name, you stick it in a Ziploc with water, and you put them in the back of the freezer. And
but Holly said like she
and
you felt good after that.
He was like, I think I want to go get a cup of coffee. And I went from 5 to 8 centimeters in like 30 minutes.
Wow.
Because my labor was forever, and that was part. I was so stressed. I was so like bound up, you know.
Yeah.
So they froze them out.
So when she told me that, I'm like, okay, so we got to learn this and use this. So I had a birth recently, and I obviously won't drop names, but the nurse was just a little rough. So I'm like, we need to freeze her out. And she's like, what's your name? I'm like, here you go. And she did it, and everything went a little smoother after that.
So it works.
It works.
I mean, hopefully.
Listen,
we'll keep doing it.
Whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
No, a placebo effect. It's fine.
Exactly.
So whatever works, you know.
I'm gonna do this now.
Right? So there's like freezing out is the big one. Yeah.
Yeah, get that energy out of here.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
I do like that. Very good.
Right. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
No, this was so great.
Okay, good.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Awesome. All right. So thank you both so much for joining us. We're excited for people to learn about doulas and what they bring to the table from pregnancy all the way to postpartum. Doulas are an excellent source of support and information. So get yourself an Mama's doula if you live in Ocean and Monmouth County. Do you guys extend all of New Jersey? Or
no, the Ocean and Monmouth is pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll do up north sometimes. There's a birth center up there, and then we did Bridgewa Birth Center recently.
Bridgewa down south.
So good.
Okay.
So amazing. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. So book yourselves in with them, ladies. It's worth it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.